Hey everyone, it's Crow, the engi for TLB. I am actually going to comment on a game that I just played with AP, the first match of the UGC season. I was playing with AP because I've been playing with them over the summer. My team didn't know if they were going to be playing together, so they finally formed. TLB ended up coming back about a week before the season started, and I didn't want to leave AP hanging, telling them, find an engi 4 days before the game started, or 4 days before the first match. So I decided to play with them. So yeah, you're going to see my commentary on some engi play, since a lot of people have been asking for it. A couple of things to keep in mind. One, I'm going to have to use third-person point of view, because for whatever reason, I actually have to record this on my Mac side. I've actually put on a MacBook Pro, because that's the only computer I've got. Which means the quality is not going to be particularly great, as you can tell already. I'm going to try my best to optimize settings so that I can record. I mean, if you're one of those people who can't stand anything under 120 FPS, you might as well just leave now. I've already capped it at 60, and it's likely not going to hit that all the time. I haven't played in a long time. Like, I've literally played probably 10 hours the past month before Sunday because of, that real life thing. So I was really just getting back into the swing of things. You're probably going to notice a couple of really easy missed shots. I mean, I'm bad in general, so try not to judge me a little bit on that. And my router was also going batshit crazy. I don't know if you're going to be able to see that in the demo, and for your sake, I hope not. Like, I was teleporting. It was pretty bad. There were a couple times where I was playing with a ping of 150. Not so much fun. So basically, this is just me commenting on different things that I do as engineer. Ignore the whole technical fact, and this probably isn't going to be the most professional thing in the world, is what I'm going to tell you right now. So we might as well start getting started. But oh yeah, for whatever reason, my FOV on my Mac side will not go up to 90, and I can't stand watching it at FOV of like 70 or less than that. Like, it'll kill me. So I'd rather just do third person, and yeah, you can see. Even this demo that was recorded, I was lagging pretty badly, but this is more of a commentary about what I do personally, and kind of different strats I do for Upward for people who want to know like what different people do. To start off with, what is going on? I don't know why my... I don't know why that happened. I like building up here, especially if I'm comfortable with my team being able to keep the front farther away from my sentry. I found that if you keep your sentry gun back here, what happens is a lot of times team will pop in, expect the sentry down where the health pack is, and find out only it's back here, and they'll waste it. Or even if they do realize it's there, you really have to push, like to use an Uber to take out the sentry spot. You really have to push up pretty far to do that, and I'm hoping my team is going to force them to pop much sooner than they get to the bottom of this hill. Turn the game volume up a little bit. Why it's doing this. So I like having it up there, because you can just wrangle, and it'll help prevent things. Jesus Christ. Fine, Oh, that's gonna work. Yeah, well, I'll just press that. Sweet. If you wrangle up here, look, you can see that they had to Uber all the way back there. I don't remember. Someone called that they forced a pop. So their Uber was all the way back there, and if your sentry is up farther than it is right now, what happens is, even if they're forced to Uber earlier than they want, they still can walk up close and take out your sentry. There, I probably should have wrangled, but we'll ignore that. Speaking of which, I found that if you have really bad lag, wrangling is a pain in the ass. I don't know why. Like, it doesn't lock on, and even if it does, it doesn't always hit them for some reason. I think at one point in time you're going to see that I was wrangling against a mini sentry, and I was just M1ing it forever, and for whatever reason it didn't go down. But that's fine. It happens sometimes, I suppose. Also, I really liked what AP did. Their sniper stayed pretty close to me, and you'll see that more in the last point, where their spy always had this thing where, as a spy, you're going to go for an easy pick, especially on a sniper, because Toad was playing pretty well, so they needed him down. So if Toad is with me, the spy's going to go for him because he's a quick kill. And that alerted me to a spy in the area, and that, you know, helped me deal with him before he got to my sentry. There he actually spawn camps. He went all the way back to our spawn to take out the teleporter, which is his choice. That also told us he's right behind him, and then I see him here. Just some shooting going on. Yeah, called for my pyro to help me out. Got him down. And then he's helped me take out that sapper. Maxis is a pretty cool dude. Really good pyro. Definitely one of the better ones in Silver that I've played with. And you can see again, like, just having a sentry all the way up here is so much better than having it down there. Because if you're down there, you can get spammed to oblivion. When you're up here, you can just look at that bottom left side. You don't have to worry about, you know, see here they had the Uber, and my team's like saying fall back, and look how far up they have to walk before they can even get to my gun. Yeah, FPS of 20. So I knew the demo man was behind me. I was trying to get a couple more kills before I went down because I knew that my sentry was going to get overrun. And you can argue about, you know, how good of an idea that was or not, but I knew that we had lost that point. There wasn't too much of a shot of me getting out alive, so I figured I'd try and take as many people down as I could, and hope that we could set up on second in time that I'll be able to build the gun, which it looks like we were able to do for the most part. I can't tell if I have not played on my max side in so long. That 30 FPS. God, I don't miss the gun. Now I'm getting a whole steady 60. And here you can see they were getting on the cart, and a lot of times people say, you know, get them off the cart, but nobody does anything about it, so I was going to run out and, you know, just touch it, give my team a couple of extra seconds. This point is really weird. Like, there's not really a good place to put your sentry. I know everybody puts it there, and that's kind of the best place to put it, based solely on the fact that there's not a better one. I don't particularly like it because you'll see probably, I don't remember if it happened here or not. One, I mean, they can just Uber in and immediately take out your sentry. That was a nice sort of flash by our medic. Here I got the medic. That's another thing, engineers. If you, like, your sentry's going down and it's going to become a giant clusterfuck, you have a shotgun, and you can use it. Mini sentries. There, I went, my gun went down, and if I were to sit there and build another one, it would have gone down just as quickly. It didn't really do much. So a simple thing to do was just kind of stay at, like, I just kind of hit under that cliff, until their Uber went off. Knew it was a giant clusterfuck, and then just went directly at the medic the moment that the Uber faded. Ended up getting a medic pick, which is going to help because that's going to allow me to set up shit for the third point when I need to. If that medic didn't go down, their team could have kept steamrolling, so it was important to get that pick. And allows us again to set up here, which is useful. This point is really, really difficult when you're lagging and your Wrangler is glitching. But I really like this spot on this point. I know some teams do different things, but I like having this here because, once again, you can wrangle for a good distance. They have to pop, the closest they can pop Uber, if your team is working together, is right around that corner. And you see how, if you can see, my team is really far forward, which forces them to pop Uber very, very quickly. So now they have to walk up to my gun, and they realize that they weren't able to do that because their Uber had already faded. If my gun was farther up, that Uber could have easily gotten it, and, you know, had some technical issues there, so I had to get back. I don't remember what I was talking about. The soldier jumped in on our medic there, and Rango level 3 is useful. But essentially, a lot of engineers like putting their... Oh, that's a spy that I forgot to call, I remember that. And we're going to lose this point because I forgot to do that. But a lot of engineers like putting their sentry in a place that gets them a lot of kills, and your sentry is really not for that. You should really look at your sentry more as a way to prevent the other team from pushing quickly. Especially if your team is working well together, it can be looked at as, I want them to have to push through my team and then have to push through my sentry, or them have to push through my sentry and then have to push through my team. if you put it in a place where you're aiming for kills, it's not going to be quite as effective. It's just going to get spammed down and get destroyed rather quickly. I mean, it's really not its point. That's a mistake I see a lot of new engineers making. Is your sentry really is not about to get kills. It is very, very much about just stopping the other team's momentum, kind of like a roadblock in the way that they have to push through to get through, you know, to cap the point. Apparently forgot that I was out of metal and decided I just wanted to hit my sentry there. Again, you can't see it right now, but the sniper is actually up top with me and forces their spy to either to walk around their sniper to get me, or what most spies will do, and I'm pretty sure what our spy did on multiple times, is go directly for the sniper because it's a free pick. Here they actually sent their combo up to get my sentry, and our engineer, or our sniper, alerted that and threw karate on them. And that was, again, another time where I don't think you could see it there, but I ended up doing a good 200 damage or something close to that heavy just with a shotgun. Yeah, I got double teamed there. But again, so many engineers forget the fact you have a shotgun there that's so useful, and it actually does a pretty decent amount of damage. And it's really kind of, it's something that a lot of engineers I feel like should work with and, you know, kind of take advantage of. That when your sentry goes down, you're not useless anymore, or you're not completely useless. You can still do things. In fact, you can be quite effective. And here's something that I do that a lot of people disagree with, that, or even AP was kind of like, you know, what are you doing? When this is something that I actually recommend. That you really kind of have to think about it a bit, but when all's going to shit, and I could kind of tell, I'm like, crap, this is about to get really scrappy. They're going to be throwing like, it's so close to being capped. They're going to be throwing players in at random just to get the cart. They're going to be doing everything they can, and I figured they'd end up coming in pretty quickly. So I didn't think that I'd have enough time to get a level 3 up. So what you can do is put up a mini sentry in just kind of different spots to again just slow their push. Also, I knew that if this is going to be scrappy, we're going to have somebody on the cart, which means that someone's a sitting duck, essentially, on that cart. And when that's happening, it's so simple to have just a dispenser by the cart, because having a level 3 sentry up really requires you to have a dispenser up as well to help you repair it. I mean, and there you can see, the mini sentry is clearly still being effective. It's already gotten 4 assists, 2 kills. It's for people who say that you can't use a mini sentry to help defend last, those people are dumb. I mean, it was doing work, and a lot of it. But yeah, like the soldier has to stand on the point now because it's getting close to being capped, and they could just send people in and, you know, have a scout or something jump on the cart. So what a smart thing to do is to throw a dispenser up on the cart, so whoever you have that's going to be sitting on it doesn't have to worry about, you know, slowly taking spam damage or doing whatever. Because a lot of fighting is going to be going on around that cart, and just simply having a dispenser there does so much, it helps so much, and so few people realize it. I might have been able to put up a level 3 in this time, but at the same time, again, there's that risk of I could spend a lot of time putting up a level 3, and if it doesn't work, I've wasted a lot of time, and I'm going to be kind of a useless combat class once it goes down. If you have a mini sentry, you have more health, you can throw them down quickly and do damage outside of just your sentry. And I really like that, especially about this point. Some points it doesn't work as well. Like, I have different spots for bad water. You can't really use a mini sentry as well. But here again, like, having a level 3 sentry would have gone down almost immediately. And I was just irritating, preventing them from looking at my combo as much from the pyro that ended up coming up behind them. Oh my god, this field of view, I want to go up. And again, that pyro, our pyro, you can see, was about to die, the scout was about to die, and because that dispenser was there, it was simple enough that they were able to stand on the point without it worrying about being capped because they were getting heals. You know, the other team, when they stand on the point, is getting heals. It helps if our team's able to do it as well. Another quick thing, railings are your best friends with sentries. because I know a lot of people who play heavy, you might know this, can kind of shoot through walls, but from a distance you can't really shoot through them. Had to ask our scout to move so I could put a dispenser there, and he got picked, so I felt kind of bad. If you put a sentry right behind a railing, your sentry will be able to shoot through it, but occasionally hit-scan weapons will get caught in the railing, so they're not going to hit your sentry right away. So that works out in your benefit. So a heavy shooting at that sentry is going to take all the shots from the mini-sentry, but might end up doing less damage to it because the railing's going to catch a couple of the bullets. It's a little known thing that a lot of people could really use. There's a lot of good spots for it too. Like if you're on offense on Badwater last, there's a couple of railings you can use to kind of help your team. And again, while my mini-sentry didn't end up doing too much there, they Ubered in. They looked for the sentry, spammed up the top there. They got it down quickly. It would have gone down if it was level 3, and then I would have just been up there building. So you can argue that I could have used level 3 here. I could have told you that would have been an incorrect decision, but I feel like at this point I was doing enough between my mini-sentries and my shotgun, and I wanted to have a dispenser down for my team. So, and normally I would use the Widowmaker with this kind of setup to help output more damage, but like I said, I've kind of just got back into playing, and my aim is not quite where I would like it to be. So I'm just using the regular shotgun since it's a little more forgiving for missing shots, and I missed plenty of shots, believe me. Quickly upgrading it to level 2. Also, another thing that a lot of engineers, I think, need to realize is that your defense is only as good as your team's defense. I could put up a level 3 in the best spot in the world, and if my team is not rallying around it, it doesn't really matter. Our team was holding down below because of the fact that it was getting really scrappy and there was only 2 minutes left. Waited for the stickies to clear. I knew the engineer or the demo would throw stuff up there because where sentries always go. Snipers, yo. But yeah, so your sentries can only do as much as, or can only help your team. They can't, you know, bring your team up from about to lose. Clutch Girardi plays. Once again, mini sentry. Nobody. That's the other benefit of using a mini sentry is that most people kind of ignore it. They're like, oh, it's just a mini sentry. It's not going to do that much, you know, that much damage. I don't have to worry about it. Versus level 3, it's targeted, it's called immediately, and people destroy it. That mini sentry, those 4 picks were because people were ignoring it. Those 4 picks were not because people were at low health and it was doing a lot of damage. That was because everybody was like, oh, it's just a mini sentry. Like we could probably cap the point pretty quickly. Then they got Girardi thrown on them. All of a sudden they were taking mini crit damage from it, and it did a lot of damage in a very short amount of time because people ignore it. And that's my favorite thing about mini sentries, to be completely honest. I mean, the fast respawn is nice, and you know the damage output, and the fact that it's a direct counter to scouts that use flanks. It's the fact that a lot of people just don't pay attention to them until it's too late. Most teams, when they Uber in, if there's a mini sentry, all it takes is the demo turning and one pipe to take it down. And teams that don't do that, the rest of the team can't push in with them because, you know, they're focusing on getting kills, but everybody who's not Ubered is taking damage from the mini sentry. And because of how quickly they can go up, you can keep throwing them up, and they have to keep getting focused because they're annoying as hell. So, but again, here actually I really could have gone back to a level 3, and looking back, I probably should have because of the time left, and they just finished using Uber. Oh wait, never mind. That was incorrect. They were kind of just, or after this push, excuse me, I could have gone back knowing that they would have had to use Uber to get through it and they wouldn't have had enough time, but I didn't think that they would push in quick enough, or quickly enough to make a difference, so I just decided I'd leave it. But yeah, engineers don't... a lot of people are going to tell you how to play your class, especially a lot of people who don't play engineer a lot. Do what you find is comfortable. Here, if my level 3 goes down and I feel like it's going to be scrappy, I'm more comfortable throwing down a mini sentry and using my shotgun to help defend than, you know, dying over and over again trying to protect a level 3. And if you have a spot that you think really works and your team and it works well for your team, somebody comes in and is like, "Hey, yo, you should put it here. That spot sucks." You know, don't worry about it. If they have good point, you should listen to them because they might be able to give you advice. But at the same time, don't take every bit of advice like to heart. That like it's the only way you can do it. Similarly, I've been giving advice on where I put my sentries. If you have a spot that you think works better, it might work better. It might work better for you, and you should continue using it. There's not one way to play this class. To be completely honest, payload is not my best for engineer. I'm much better at King of the Hill, 5 CP, kind of again wandering around with a gunslinger and outputting damage. So that playstyle for me will work. I mean, I can still use a Wrangler when my ping's not 150 like it was this game, but at the same time, you know, when things get scrappy, it works better for my playstyle. I'll probably be doing an offensive one. Currently, I need to go because there's this thing called class in college, and you have to go to a couple of them. But I'll probably be back later to do more, and definitely some scrims on 5 CP and King of the Hill that we do. But yeah, this is Crow, and that was my defense, or one of my defenses, on Upward.